Everybody welcome in. Bryan Kohberger stalked Idaho victims before murders, wore gloves in grocery store weeks afterward. The criminology student accused of slaying 4 University of Idaho students had stalked his alleged victims before the November murders and wore gloves in a supermarket weeks afterward. Cellphone data shows that Bryan Kohberger, 28, was often in the same location as the 3 sorority sisters and one of their boyfriends before he allegedly slashed them to death. And with that, let's get into it. Bryan Kohberger stalked Idaho victims before murders, wore gloves in grocery store weeks afterward. The criminology student accused of slaying 4 University of Idaho students had stalked his alleged victims before the November murders and wore gloves in a supermarket weeks afterward. Cellphone data shows that Bryan Kohberger, 28, was often in the same location as the 3 sorority sisters and one of their boyfriends before he allegedly slashed them to death. Kohberger also seemed to be careful about not leaving fingerprints in public even as he fled to his native state of Pennsylvania in recent days. "He's not stupid and has been very careful," said the source, who claimed to be good friends with one of the cops who had surveilled the murder suspect in the days before his arrest. "He followed him into a giant supermarket and wore gloves the entire time," the source reportedly said of his investigator pal. "Not sure if they ever interacted, but his cell phone pings followed their every move for weeks," the source reportedly said of Kohberger's alleged stalking. Roommates Kaylee Gonsalves, 21, Madison Mogan, 21, Xana Knodel, 20, and Knodel's boyfriend Ethan Chapin, 20, were killed in the women's apartment in the early morning hours of November 13 after a night out in the college town of Moscow, Idaho. His father, who is not said to be a suspect, had flown to Idaho to make the 2,500-mile drive with his son after Kohberger completed his first semester of the PhD program at the university. The suspect's lawyer said Kohberger was on suicide watch at the Monroe County Correctional Facility, where he was being held without bail ahead of a Tuesday extradition hearing. The suspect was eager to be exonerated and intended to waive his right to a hearing to expedite his return to Moscow to face 4 murder charges. Monroe County Chief Public Defender Jason Labar told CNN the murder weapon in the case, a fixed-blade knife, had not yet been recovered, according to investigators. Bryan Kohberger, who was described as super awkward and a little off by students in the criminal justice and criminology department, did not change his routine or behavior in the weeks following the murders. Cops had honed in on DNA evidence and Kohberger's car, which was seen near the site of the gruesome murders, to link the suspect to the crime.
3. The undisclosed forensic evidence was linked to the suspect after it was run through a public database, 2 law enforcement sources told the network Saturday. The FBI then tracked the grad student for 4 days before making an arrest while it worked with local law enforcement to develop enough probable cause to obtain a warrant. So I have to ask, was he up in the tree line watching? That is actually a really creepy thought, and believe it to be true, as well as he may have been in the house before they got home. I'm also sad to say, in my opinion, Ethan and Xana were collateral damage. Ethan might have heard something and woken up, and the rest we know. My thoughts and prayers go out to Ethan, Xana, Kaylee, and Maddie's families and friends.
And with that, it is a wrap. Have a great day or night wherever you are in the world.